Okay, so I'm gonna assume that you're in the know if you're watching this. I'm gonna assume that you saw Tennocon live. You're in the know of what was shown there, and you you know what's to come. Okay, I'm just gonna assume that. I'm not gonna go over every single thing in detail. These are just opinions. Okay, so the first thing that I wrote down for Tenno Live was Prime, Hydro Prime. And I'm like, okay, well, you wanted to add a joke to Tenno Live. Okay, that's fine. That's a good way to break the ice, I guess. You just goes to show Prime soon pays off after all. Not important. It's just a joke. 100 Prime trailers out. Whatever. Next thing that was the next thing that was shown was the infested room in the orbiter that's getting a little facelift. And you know that's good implement, but it like I feel like this is a topic in and of itself. You can't really relate. This for me was the highlight of Tennocon because it just opens up more possibilities and more topics to discuss. But we're gonna get that into that because this is so long. The only thing I could say, and I made a note of it right here, is the infested room equals RIP warframe reworks because of how that's gonna work. So I'm gonna say we'll get into it. The infested open world. No more derelict keys. So, DE, you get rid of the void key system. You get rid of the raid keys. Now you're getting rid of derelict keys. So, I'm guessing DE doesn't like keys. The fact that you have keys in your game means that you're only given access to certain people. Only certain people can go into the void back in the day. Only certain people can do raids. Only certain people can do the derelict system. And now you're getting rid of it. And it's only a matter of time before you also get rid of the vault keys. And speaking of which, if you're getting rid of the derelict system and shoving it into this new planet, which is Deimos, are the vault are the Oregon vaults gonna get moved there too? Like, where are the Oregon vaults? Where are we gonna get corrupted mods now? Where are new players gonna get corrupted mods? The infested open world. Well, let's just keep going. Okay. So, you're greeted with the new Cephalon. The Deimos Cephalon is annoying. I don't get DE's humor sometimes. He's annoying. Like, you compared him to Claptrap, but no. I think Claptrap always had a little bit more finesse to his annoyance. This character reminded me a lot of how the comic relief character in Lego games is. It was just more childish. It wasn't really like entertaining. He's annoying. I don't like him. Further into the demo, we finally get to see the stupid door that was teased in the Heart of Deimos trailer. And it's just a library. The big hype, you enter the hub world, you make your way to this door, You enter you exit your warframe only to go through that doorway and you find an archive room for the Entrati people. No. No. This is my opinion. But I feel like all the emphasis of the teaser trailer was put on that fucking door. And people speculated. People said that that's the world. That's the door to the open world. Or that's the door to get into the hub world. Into the town. Into something. I honestly was expecting that this was the door to a dungeon. Or like similar to the ESO, you go through this door to progress to the next area. No, it's not that. It's an archive room where you look up lore for the mods, for the Requiem mods. What? Like, this is important now? Like, I don't play Warframe, I don't know what the hell is going on anymore, but like, I just assumed those words, like the fucking Lockda, Zeta, or I don't know, Lorm, were just there. Like, now they have meaning, or whatever. The open world has bounties. That's not a shocker, it's an open world. The reason why the open world is not important to me is because we already have 2 open worlds. We already have mining, we already have fishing, we already have standing grinding. It's gonna be a slap in the face if we get this again for the Heart of Deimos open world. That really bothers me because supposedly you're exploring the world. You're supposed to be fixing it, and you think that, you know, instead of like doing excavation, well, no, maybe not. Excavation might actually be good, but instead of doing exterminate missions and go find this, pop this, whatever, you instead would be like, okay, we're gonna go to the heart of the world. We're gonna go underground. We're gonna try to kill as much infestation as you can. Try to get to the hive, maybe. Try to plague. Try to rid this plague. Try to purge this plague. No. More bounties. More shit rewards, probably. Not interested. And this just further let me down. We have bug K drives now. I really was thinking about what the next gimmick vehicle is gonna be in this open world. Because Plains of Eidolon was the Archwing. And further ahead, it was the little aircraft digger near use. People probably jumped on that for like 2 minutes and moved on. Not important. In Fortuna, it was the K drives. People jumped on for 2 minutes and forgot about it because they're useless. They don't add anything. It's just filler. But the good thing about this is that now you can finally shoot and drive a K drive. I don't know if this is just exclusive to the bug K drives, but if this is implemented into the normal K drives, then fine. It would actually give you a reason to use a K drive. You may live your fantasy to perform a drive-by on a skateboard. Hooray. Mech suit mini bosses, I think they were. this was, I think, when they started going underground. They started going underground of the planet, and this Mexu guy spawned. And like, I'm not that mad about it, but it just reminded me of sentience on Lua. Instead of like sentient scanning you and spawning like the 2 battle lists, I think they are. It's just like, I guess this Mexu going haywire, thinking you're a threat, and it's protecting the building that you entered that's underground. I don't know if I have a problem with this, but like I said, with sentience, it reminds me of sentience. Like, is this gonna have the element, the resistances that the sentience have? Does this like have some kind of gimmick to it that you can only beat it by shooting its shields or something? I don't know. And like, another thing that it reminded me of was the little tank things, the tusks from Plains of Eidolon. Are these mech suits gonna be the tusks of the Heart of Deimos? Or what? Whatever, it's just a little encounter you can do, and it's whatever. Knowing how building and warframe is, you're probably gonna be able to take it down in a couple minutes. Not important. Alright. And the next point is the bosses, the world bosses in Heart of Deimos. Sun and Moon. Insert obligatory rivalry because sun, moon, light, darkness. Cliches everywhere. If these bosses are like the Robololis, the Orb Mothers, what else? Maybe Eidolons? I'm not really gonna be invested because they're annoying. I hate those bosses. They're too tedious to do. The Robololis was a gimmick in a way. But once you do damage to it, it's just, there's too many enemies smacking you around the place. And I feel like this is going to be no different. So, if you take past bosses into consideration, this is going to be pretty much the same as the Orb Mothers. Okay, and then they actually made a mech suit that you can pilot while you're out in the open world, I guess. Or maybe they're used for fighting the bosses. I just wrote here that it was, you actually use a mech suit to fight bosses. I don't know how this was implemented. I didn't catch it. It doesn't matter. Point is, it's another vehicle that you can use in this open world. That's not gonna matter because you already have a fucking warframe that can do millions of damage. And knowing DE, the mix is just gonna be to bring down the boss's shields, and then you have to exit the mexu, go into your warframe, shoot it twice with your Vex Armor Chroma, and kill it. And like, as a little joke, I thought, like, when this was leaked that you're gonna be able to use a mech suit, I thought that you were gonna enter the mech suit with the warframe. So it's like, you have a power suit for your operator, and now you have a mech suit for your power suit. Isn't that hilarious? And all this is gonna get released August 25th. Now, this is where I want to start talking for real. The Hemlith Chrysalis room is gonna be so busted for many reasons. It says that you can extract one ability from any warframe and slap it onto another. Now, they limited this to not be ultimates or signature abilities. An example was the Vault. They fed Vault to the Himleth, and now you can use Shock on any warframe. You can slap on Shock on any warframe. You can replace any ability, it doesn't matter. This is nuts, because augments work on these abilities too. You no longer have to use Vault to shock enemies, and also with the augment to buff yourself with electrical damage. You could do this on any frame now, and not just Vault. It's gonna be Ember, it's gonna be Frost, it's gonna be Saren, it's gonna be Oberon. All those abilities that have that buff, augment, buff yourself with fire, buff yourself with cold, buff yourself with radiation, with toxin, those are already game changers. You could guarantee that everyone's going to be using that because all the other abilities are going to be shit. They said the only abilities that you can't use are ultimates and signature abilities. They said signature abilities like Necros Desecrate. Okay, but what else? Like, according to my logic of Warframe, aren't all Warframe abilities signature Warframe abilities? Like, I guess there's some examples. Ash's Shuriken, it's like, I'm pretty sure every Warframe can carry a Shuriken on them. So I guess that could be chosen. But for example, Wukong, what ability can you slap on other Warframes that isn't unique to Wukong? You can't make a clone because that's Wukong's deal. You can't use his staff because that's his unique exalt. So what's that leave you? Cloudwalker and the armor ability. And I feel like Cloudwalker is also unique to Wukong too, so you're left with the armor ability? I don't know what it's called. You absorb damage to getting armor. And like, I feel like with the first frames it's easy because they weren't so far-fetched in planning, I guess. But like, if you look at Grendel, you need Grendel's 1 to make Grendel work. If you look at Wisp, like, the moats are kind of her thing. I guess Wisp would be the teleporting ability. I don't know what these abilities are called, but like, it can't be the sunbeam laser, the hyper beam. It can't be the moats, and it can't be the decoy, I guess, either. Because how are you gonna make, for example, if you slap the decoy ability from Wisp on Mag, are you gonna have just like a ethereal Mag running across the map, or is it gonna be gliding like Wisp? August 25th, they said this was gonna get released. That's, if you watch Tennocon, that's 24 days away from release. If they're so confident that this is gonna get released August 25th, you could have let up some more details on this update. Like, for example, you could have released some abilities that you already have chosen to give the players an idea as to what to expect. Like, I want to think as reference, you could take the abilities you can use in Frame Fighter. Those abilities are going to be the ones that are chosen, with a few exceptions. I looked it up the other day, and you can use Metamorphosis on Equinox, and I don't think that's going to be an ability that you could use, you could slap onto other warframes, because that's signature to her and her only. So then, what's left? Like, some of these warframes, like, they're easy to pick, but some of the other ones you kind of can't, because you either break with the synergies established to that warframe. August 25th. August 25th is when this is gonna release. I don't think so. If they were so confident about this, I think they would have released it that same day or a week from Tennocon. They're still gonna polish some things, I bet, but like, I feel like everything's just set in stone now. You can't give feedback to this because it's too late. If you give feedback and they want to change it, it's gonna get pushed back. So, god damn it, I wish you would elaborate more on this signature ability nonsense, because it's just that. It sounds like nonsense. It kind of contradicts itself. You're gonna give us this new ability, and you're gonna brush off Warframe reworks. Like, there's no point in reworking a Warframe anymore, because if you have a problem with one ability, you could just replace it with something else. Well, they revealed this for a reason, right? It's to give us a taste of what's to come. And from what's coming, from what was shown, I'm not convinced this is an update I want to try. And since they were so vague about everything, you can't really judge it either until you have the product in hand. So here until Heart of Deimos update comes out, you can't really say anything, because this just leaves more speculation. Nothing, like, well, everything kind of is set in stone, but there's a few things that DE hasn't mentioned that probably will change the opinion of players. But honestly, it's, I wanted to play Steel Path, but it's just not appealing to me. I don't want to install Warframe again. It just seems like such a chore to just do that. Nothing in this game seems to get my attention, and why would I do that just to play an update for like one day and then drop it, like I did when the Warframe overhaul update happened in January, February, I forgot. Yeah, well, I guess we're just gonna have to wait until August 25th, or until the update drops, to see if it holds up. But I can already say that I'm having too much fun playing other things.